Hello, it's George from Australia, and welcome to Gaming My Whole Life, where I discuss everything video game related, from the good old pixels to the birth of 3D until now. Ladies and gentlemen, having only recently just uploaded my I Had in Time review, I've still been thinking about 3D platformers in general, and then a question came to me, and of course I'm going to pose that question on you. Actually, it's not even a question, it's more of a statement. I don't think Yooka Laylee 2 is ever going to happen. Now, when I say Yooka Laylee 2, I mean in the same form that the first Yooka Laylee came from. So for those of you who don't know, the first Yooka Laylee game came out as a traditional 3D platformer. It was an ultra successful Kickstarter which included developers from the original Banjo Kazooie team, and if you don't know who they are, Banjo Kazooie is a Nintendo 64 exclusive 3D platformer that is near and dear to a lot of people's hearts and is often viewed as one of the best 3D platformers to ever come out. So this Kickstarter by former developers claiming, hey, we're going to make this Yooka Laylee game in the style of the old, please back us up, blew up, was everywhere. All the mainstream medias were playing it. They had their goal and then they exceeded it to the moon and back, right? So very well funded. The end result though, at least according to the reviewers of the mainstream media, was less than positive for the most part. At most, they could enjoy it as a bare bones game, but they felt it was lacking a lot. They felt it didn't add anything new to the formula. And just anyone who had been keeping their eye on Yooka Laylee's developments and then read those reviews, most likely not, probably didn't go ahead and tried it out. Now, sadly, I was one of those people who believed the reviewers and I didn't try it out. The reason being though is just I don't have much money, to be honest. I'm always on a budget. I have to be very selective with what games I do and don't buy. And when enough websites pretty much mirror the same thing, you can't help but believe there must be some truth to this. If all the websites are saying it, there must be some truth. This Yooka Laylee game mustn't be that great. Obviously, I know that is not the case. Later on a super sale, I bought the game for next to nothing and it blew me away. So much so that I went ahead and I did an hour plus review talking about the game. I'll have the link below for you in case you're interested. I also have a link below for I Had in Time, another excellent 3D platformer. I'll have both linked below. Subscribe if you like this content, by the way. Now, plus review, talking it up the whole time. So I obviously love Yooka Laylee. So why would I dare say something as upsetting as we're not going to get a Yooka Laylee 2? Well, those initial reviews didn't go so well. Now, financially didn't really impact them because this was a Kickstarter backed game. Fans had already paid for the development. So, everything was profit for them. However, because of those lukewarm reviews and so forth, and because frankly, 3D platformers take a lot of effort, they then, for their next game, Yooka Laylee and the Impossible Lair, they changed it completely. They made it into a 2D side view, more of a Donkey Kong style game. And the reviewers loved that. So you have one game, full 3D, which takes more resources, more development, harder to do. Reviewers were less than forgiving. And then you had Yooka Laylee and the Impossible Lair, which they got to reuse assets. It's a 2D game, so it's easier to develop. Not easy, easier, there's a difference. And reviewers were very positive, right? Their publisher, Team 7, the guys who actually make the Worm series, in case you're wondering. There's a bit of a circle there. Yeah, so they're their two options. I don't see them trying Yooka Laylee 2 again. Sadly, I would love to see it. I'm on a huge 3D platformer hype train. Yooka Laylee, loved it. Again, a whole hour I talked it up. Highly recommend that video. Because of Yooka Laylee, then I went ahead and got I Had in Time. I'm really looking forward to Banjo Kazooie, which is being added to the Nintendo Online expansion pack this month. So at some point, I'm going to wake up one day, boom, Banjo Kazooie is available for me to play on my Switch. Very excited. I've never played that game, so I might actually end up reviewing it on this channel. Again, subscribe, don't miss out. But yeah, a traditional Yooka Laylee 2 is too much of a risk for them, right? It's too much of a risk because they don't know how reviewers are going to react. They got a bad reputation. Now, granted, I think this put a lot of fear in them, but I think there's enough fans like us to make it work. Trust me, look online. Fans, it's just like Days Gone, actually. Just like Days Gone. Darn reviewers, you did it twice to me. So when Yooka Laylee came out, lukewarm reviews, a lot of fans avoided it. Later on, we got it, realized Yooka Laylee is awesome. Same thing happened with that PlayStation 4 exclusive Days Gone. Game came out, reviews for some reason weren't impressed. They thought it was boring, they thought it was empty. We didn't go ahead and get the game. Later on, game goes on sale, we get the game, all of a sudden we find out they were so wrong. You want to know what the sad thing is? I'm going to be blunt here, right? I'm going to be blunt. Some people won't like it. Actually, no, only reviewers won't like this, so I don't care. The reason why Yooka Laylee, the reason why Days Gone, outside of initial bugs and so forth, right? The actual base game, they had a problem with the base game, saying the base games were boring. The reason why these games reviewed badly, and especially Yooka Laylee, was because they were reviewed by the wrong people. Now, I've actually done a video before talking about the fact that, hey, a lot of games end up falling victim to the wrong sort of reviewer. Now, when I say the wrong sort of reviewer, I mean people who generally, honestly, do not like the game type they are reviewing. It's the equivalent of someone who doesn't like fighting games reviewing the latest Street Fighter game, and then we're all shocked that this reviewer who hates fighting games, who reviewed the latest Street Fighter, we're all meant to be shocked that they didn't give that Street Fighter game a good review. Same thing happened with Yooka Laylee. See, Yooka Laylee's target audience, to be frank, is basically those 30 plus, right? 30 plus, give or take, because Yooka Laylee was made for fans of people who like playing games during the Nintendo 64 era and the PlayStation 1 era. It was a very specific type of gaming. It was the birth of 3D for many of us. And so in order for you to have even experienced those games, you need to be a certain age. Like, it's non-negotiable. If you weren't alive when it launched, well, you're not going to have any experience with it. Reason why I bring this up is a lot of the reviewers, their complaints, their feedback was complaining about things that are liked and wanted in 3D platformers. So, you know, that should have made my bells and whistles and alarms go off, and I didn't realize it at first, right? They'll complain that, you know, the world seem a little bit empty. You know, the AI isn't so smart, it isn't so challenging, you do so much collecting, you know, and so forth. That's what 3D platformers are all about. It is about, firstly, AI that is not too brilliant. You know, no one expects that. A few of the reviewers complained that enemies died too easily. Every single 3D platformer you play, for the most part, enemies die in one shot, because that's not what the experience is about. And if they were old enough and if they were fans, they would understand that. Go back and play any old 3D platformer. Typically, every single enemy dies, you know, just disappears, normally in a puff of smoke. Normally dies after one hit, because the battle systems is part of the game. It isn't the main thing. The main thing in 3D platformers is the exploration, right? It's all about the exploration. It's all about the collectathon. It's very simple. You want a very large, big, pretty environment where it's just jam-packed with secrets, right? For you to go ahead and find all those hidden items and so forth. Enemies are more of a side character, right? You see them, you hit them. At most, sometimes you need to think slightly in order to beat them, but that's it. So complaining that you're not getting enough of a challenge in combat in a 3D platformer, you sold yourself out. You had no business reviewing that. Alright, so let's focus on some good, right? 3D platformers are back, and for a long time they were gone. It was like survival horror. Survival horror disappeared for ages. No one thought it would come back, and then slowly, survival horror is actually a main thing back in the gaming industry, which is super exciting. And 3D platformers, traditional 3D platformers, collectathons, beautiful environments, colors, this, that, just happiness is back. I mean, we have a Hat in Time, we have Yooka Laylee, we have the banjo kazooie, you know, and the Nintendo 64 games being added to the Nintendo Switch Online. We have that 3D Kirby game coming out, I believe, in a month, this month, 3D Nintendo Kirby game, which looks actually a lot of fun. I haven't gotten a Kirby game since the freaking first one on the original Game Boy. And look, I got gifted one on the Wii, which I never even played. But this is really exciting, right? All these 3D platformers are coming back. And you know what's awesome as well? Indies, of all people, are leading the charge. Like, for a long time, it was just Nintendo. Unless Nintendo released a 3D something or other, no one else would touch it. Everyone was too scared. And you know, Yooka Laylee, that's indie, that's a Kickstarter. A Hat in Time, By the way, if you're watching this video, you're a fellow gamer, you're probably a 3D platformer fan. Comment below, let me know what other games am I not considering that I should totally try out, right? What am I not considering? I went ahead and I bought the Spyro remake trilogy. I have the Crash Bandicoot remake trilogy. You know, what games that could easily fit in the PS1 era that are out now on PC, you know, so I can get on Steam or something, or even GOG. Let me know down below, what game didn't I know? Because I didn't even know about A Hat in Time until one of my commenters told me about it. They jumped on my Yooka Laylee video like, hey, have you heard about A Hat in Time? You should check that out. It was because of them that I put A Hat in Time on my wish list, and then when I had the time, I went ahead and bought it. So educate me, my fellow gamers, you know, what other 3D platformers should I be, should I be playing, you know, traditional 3D platformers, you know, collectathons, this and that. And, you know, if any, what upcoming future 3D platformers are coming, you know, maybe I can do a preview on it here on this channel. So my fellow gamers, what do you think? Do you think a Yooka Laylee 2 will ever happen? If you think so, let me know. If you don't think so, let me know why. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me. You have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you all live on this big blue planet of ours. God bless you all, take care. And I'll see you for the next video here, Gaming My Whole Life. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share. Really helps us grow in Australian channel. And you have a good one. Alright, bye-bye.